I'm replacing these sway bar links on my Honda Accord 96. These are a common problem. I have a couple of these cars that would all have this problem. 20 years old, dry rotted, cracked, broken, real bad, so that the sway bar itself doesn't even make contact with anything. It just flops around in there. And the ones that are there are cracked and broken anyway, so they need to be replaced. They're 10 millimeter on top, 10 millimeter bottom, so they're easy to take off. When the new ones are going to be 12 millimeter. So, and they're a different design, but they work well. After removing the top bolt, this can be hammered. The bolt can be hammered through with a hammer and a small extension. And then after the top portion's removed and the bottom bushings remain, they get stuck typically, and then I have to hit that through with an extension. A 3/8 will work great for that. Easy. Indeed, it had to be knocked through with a 1/4 inch first to get the bolt out, and then the 3/8 to get the collar out inside of the rubber bushing. And once it came out, then everything could come out. The reverse installation for the rest, I'm just gonna, this stuff, aftermarket stuff is like real cheap stuff, I don't know, sometimes, and so a lot of the times this stuff rusts, so I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on it before I put it back on. Placing both sides, and you have bad bushings on both sides like me, you'll find probably the first side it's going to be easy to kind of manipulate these into place as you're putting the bushings into place. However, on the second side, once you've gotten the first side tightened up, it's going to be a lot harder to lift and get everything in position because everything's so stiff now. You'll want to have a jack and be able to jack it up so you have room to slide in the bushings and fit them in place. Here's a new part installed, and notice that all the washers are on opposite sides of where there's linkage, so the boots, these little pieces, bushings fit into, they've got flares that fit inside of the linkage parts, and then the washers fit on the outside where the bolt is, bolt head, and the nut head. And notice that these are self-locking nuts, so I didn't see any instructions that said how tight to make this, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't bulging out these pieces, but yet I wanted them to be semi-flush. There is gaps, but mostly flush and just not too stressed and flush and popped out. So I tightened it down to where I saw that, and then I'm relying on this to be locking itself in place. And it is pretty snug.